Hi guys, it's me Megan, your favourite podcaster. Today I'm going to introduce you a book called Deafo by Cece Bell. Well, this book is about a girl called Cece Bell. And this story is based on herself. And I'm just to remind you, but this is a graphic novel. So Cece Bell is a real person, as I was saying, and this is a story of her childhood. So when she was about 4.5, she got a really serious sickness. It was called meningitis, and it could cause a lot of things, such as headaches, vomiting, irritability, sensitive to light, fever, lack of appetite, stiff neck, fatigue, which is French for tired, because I learned French. And in French, we call it fatigue. Meningitis can also kill sometimes, in serious cases. So meningitis is basically an infection and inflammation of the fluid membranes surrounding the brain and spinal cord. Cece Bell was 4.5 when she got this meningitis. She had a hearing problem afterwards when she got out of the hospital, but then her parents just focused on lip reading and giving her a hearing aid. So she had a special hearing aid called a phonic ear that works with a microphone. And at school, the teacher wears that microphone so that Cece can hear the teacher correctly without any mumbling or things that don't make sense. And which gave her a superpower, which is super hearing. Because the teacher wore the microphone everywhere, she could hear the teacher going everywhere, even when she's using the bathroom. Which is pretty funny. But she knows that she's using the bathroom because she always hears the flush. Really loud for her. So at first, when she started school, she didn't have many friends. Well, she didn't have any friends. But then when people started to get to know her and they knew she could listen, where their teacher was every time, then they could party when it was quiet math. But then everybody was partying, but then once their teacher came in and found them all partying, most of the people were put in rotten spot. It was like this apple with a hole in the middle so they could write names in them. Anyway, but then afterwards they didn't want to party anymore in quiet math because they would get in rotten spot again. So Cece and Mike, presumably her boyfriend, had a little plan. So Cece would listen out to where their teacher was going, and she would tell everyone to go back to your seats every time. Whenever she heard that the teacher's footsteps were coming back. Speaking about hearing, she lost about 85% to 90% of her hearing. She was very self-conscious and timid and ashamed about her hearing aid because it was so huge. She lied about what the phonic ear was because she was so self-conscious. She didn't want to learn sign language, which is very kind of not too unusual. She also didn't want to draw attention to herself. And here is a quote she wrote herself, or she said herself. Being different and feeling different can be really challenging. Cece Bell. But then she discovered her inner hero, and that she had super hearing. She also loved the superhero shows that come on the TV in the early 70s, and she also loved the idea of turning into a real superhero herself. Her nickname is Deafo, That's why the book name is called El Deafo. Well, I suppose they call it El Deafo because El is a French word for girl, and Deafo, you can find the word deaf in it. So I suppose that's why they called it El Deafo. She also loves Batman. She also acts a bit like Batman, I suppose. Like, she fights by herself. But, like, you know, if you watch Batman, then you would know that Batman usually fights alone and without anyone else. And I also saw a picture at the last page of this book. It was El Deafo with a girl called Martha, which was dressed in a costume too. And I wondered that if the costume was actually based on Robin in Batman, because instead of the R on the top, I saw an M, but it looked a lot like the Robin costume. So it really shows how she loves Batman. She was also very worried about how people think of her. She sometimes does stuff which from her dream that usually helps her, but not in some cases. Like saying to a friend, "Why do you have to talk to me like that? It's like making me so sad." And like you didn't have to go, "Hi, Cece. My name is Ginny," and then they'll just go all sad. She also helped her friends get out of Warden Spot, which is the bit I said about the quad math. She also develops a great friendship at the end with Martha and a bit more developing with her crush, Mike. Well, why are all these characters in rabbits? Well, I think because rabbits usually have big ears and their hearing isn't very well. But then Cece is the only one who can't hear very well and need to use hearing aids. So I think that's why they use rabbits. Cece also has a red cape. She can also fly now and has a superpower of like screeching noises and stuff like that, like super hearing. She also wears an undershirt everywhere, and she also wears a powerful rosette on her breast, or on her undershirt. She also wears her phonic ear proudly in front of her to show that, okay, I'm not afraid because people get to know me. I'm here, my phonic is right here. You don't have to think about, hey, is that thing really there? No, it's really there and I am proud of it. So the setting is in Roanoke, basically, and she also has a good school life apart from Laura, and she also develops friendship with some other kids like Ginny, and yeah, she also has like neighborhood stuff, and across the road she has Martha, which is in the 3rd grade in her school. So she just went over, and then it just started out so great that you were like, hey, do you want to come over for a sleepover? And she was like, sure. And I was like, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this is going to be the best day ever. Like, imagine if he has, like, a dreamy dad and a kind mom. And, oh, we're going to have so much fun together. It's like just developing all our connections. So the problem in this story, I would say, is Cece was lonely because she was being teased at for her big front, which was actually her phonic ear. But then when she found her inner hero, it made her have more friends. Like when Mike told everyone about Cece's super hearing, then everyone just got wild and they went like, hey Cece, where is she right now? Flash. I think think she just used the bathroom. My favorite parts of this book are there was a picture with Cece in grade 1 wearing her phonic ear. I'm just reading it, but the phonic ear has 2 cords. One that goes up to the ears, and they're like thick, sticky plastic straps that like strap around your body to secure it. And then under the phonic ear, it's like really cold. And the undershirt is a must because it's so cold. Brr. Under the phonic ear, there are 4 snaps that keep the straps in place. Yeah, that's obvious. And underpants of your eyes. Oops. Sock top. And that has nothing to do with the phonic ear. And near the top of the undershirt, I see a cute rosette and cords that sound to the earpiece. There's also a volume knob and an on and off switch. Squeak! There's also an earpiece or ear mold that she sticks in her ear. When it's not in her ear, it makes a very, very high-pitched squeal called a feedback. Okay, I've got 3 of them and that was 1 down, 2 to go. Best or worst of all, I can even hear Mrs. Lofton when she uses the bathroom. Squeak! Zip! Tinkle, 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 tinkle. Oh no, hee hee. What a relief. Whop, whop. Toilet paper? Zip. I know what's coming. Flush. Okay, now it's 2 down, 1 to go. So about what I was saying with the dreams, I really think she actually dreams a lot about like superheroes and El Deafo. This is my favorite dream though. Our hero, the mighty El Deafo, is tied up by a band of pajama-wearing supervillains. The supervillains interrogate El Deafo and torture her with somewhere in time. But El Deafo was strong. What are those cords for? Why do you wear overalls so much? Are you deaf? Wah, wah, wah. Yes, I'm deaf and you're next on my list. Here's a taste of your own rope and some of that funeral music you wanted too. But it's not over yet for El Deafo. She is accosted by another menacing foe. I am Super Missy. Prepare for beauty, my little deaf friend. Our hero is more than ready. Read my lips. Nobody touches this face. How about a makeover, Missy? What pleasure this gives me. You'll never know. Ta-da! Eek! I'm hideous! At long last, El Deafo faces the mightiest foe of all, the dastardly Super Jenny. Don't ever call me your deaf friend again, or your friend. Did you turn those lights off on purpose? I dunno. I'm sorry. Sorry isn't good enough. Goodbye. Wow. After I read this book, I felt really touching and emotional. It gave a lot of positive and encouraging quotes. I really loved how positive Cece was when she got meningitis, and it was also pretty emotional seeing her mom sitting beside her hospital bed, looking so worried. I would give this rating 10 out of 10. 2 for lots of funny bits like the toilet flushing and the crash smooching and like the dreams. They were like very amusing. Like Super Missy, like the names are so cool, like Super Missy, Super Jenny, Mighty Mom. Oh my gosh, so cool. 3 stars for cute bunny illustrations. I love how they create costumes for the characters, or how they change the main character's appearance when they grow up. And 5, a very positive attitude. I am not kidding. It is very positive. Like what I said before, it is very, very, and very positive, because I see all the bits that make you so worried and is she gonna die? Is she gonna die? And then at the end they're like, no, she's not gonna die. It's okay. And it's just staying calm and positive. I love that. So I hope you loved my podcast, and I wish to see you in my other podcasts. Yeah. Make sure to stay tuned. Bye guys.